Recently, ICC Chief Prosecutor Khan announced that he is seeking arrest warrants for 3 Hamas leaders and 2 Israeli leaders for crimes against humanity in Israel and the Gaza Strip. The ICC stands for International Criminal Court. The Hamas leaders are Yahya Sinwar, Muhammad Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh, while the Israeli leaders are Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. Some in the West have criticized the ICC for seeking warrants against the Israeli leaders, claiming it puts them on the same level as Hamas. As an American, I support the ICC authority to prosecute international criminal cases. The ICC and other international courts, like the ICJ, are the only hope for a system that equally guarantees human rights to all people, regardless of nationality or citizenship. There should be no difference between me as an American citizen and an Afghan citizen. We should all be treated equally in international law. We shouldn't have a system in place where some nations, all nations are equal sort of situation, but some nations are more equal than others. That's backwards. And I understand right now that's what exists, but the ICC and other international courts are the only sliver of hope we have to create a system in place that guarantees rights to all human beings in the world today.
Please, we want justice.
National courts often fail to deliver justice, and the powerful dictate morality. Sort of might makes right. The ICC ensures that those that commit war crimes are held accountable. Here is its mission statement. You can read it for yourself. Israeli courts have been criticized for failing to protect Palestinian human rights with long legal processes that delay justice for the Palestinian people. Justice delayed is justice denied. The ICC Chief Prosecutor Khan believes Israel will not provide justice for Palestinian victims. Exception is key here. Threats and sometimes blackmail from American senators to sanction the International Criminal Court, prosecutors and judges are uncalled for and set a dangerous precedent. Do you know why they want to sanction the ICC? Because Chief Prosecutor Khan is seeking warrants against Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, the Israeli leaders. They want to make the court answerable to them. You can only prosecute people that they want prosecuted. That's pretty dangerous and makes a mockery out of the court system if they were to agree or to give in to these senators. It implies that the West and their allies can commit war crimes with impunity while others cannot. It would make the ICC and other international courts into kangaroo courts, where the West can do whatever they want and other countries cannot. You might as well give up on the idea of a rule-based system or a fair justice process internationally and go back to the pre-1940s when only the might would rule over whoever they wanted to rule over. They could conquer whoever they wanted to conquer. They could commit whatever war crimes they wanted to commit and get away with it. That's not what we want. So, no, we should not convert the ICC court into a kangaroo court for the West, or for the Americans to be more specific. Allegations do not prove guilt, and the ICC has prosecuted and lost cases. For example, the ICC lost a case against former President of Ivory Coast, Laurent Gbagbo, who was not found guilty of war crimes against humanity. Basically, they lost. So the allegations were found to be either untrue or maybe exaggerated, who knows? You can read the whole case. But regardless, the court has a fair process to prosecute individuals for war crimes or crimes against humanity. The warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant have not been issued yet, and they are innocent until proven guilty. I don't understand the panic, to be honest. They have not been issuing of warrants doesn't prove that they're guilty. The warrants have not even been issued yet. However, American threats are not helping their case, and it may corner the ICC into issuing warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant to prove its independence. The ICC does not want to become a kangaroo court of the West. They won't, and they know that. This is the issue here. I don't have a problem with America criticizing the ICC chief prosecutor for seeking the warrants, but I do have an issue with economic threats and blackmail. That's where I have an issue. That's why I draw the line and say that's a problem. That creates a problem in the judicial system, in a world system. We're trying to establish an international system of justice for the world. And here comes America throwing a curveball and saying, hey, you can't prosecute Israeli leaders. You can only prosecute third world countries, or you can only prosecute countries like the president of Russia, Putin, or any other sort of leader that we think is a dictator. Those who are enemies, you can prosecute. If they are friends, you cannot prosecute. You can't have that kind of a system in a court. And so the courts may look at this and say, oh, you're trying to blackmail us? We are going to call your bluff. In fact, I would say this is most likely that's likely to happen. Undermining the ICC could hurt America's moral authority, which I must be honest is already low, but could get lower, and destroy the fragile international human rights systems that are in place. Victims should not be held to a different standard, and violating human rights is never justified, even violating the human rights of perpetrators. You can't say because this person did this evil thing, they deserve their human rights to be violated. You can't do that. You always have to go by the international system of justice, which requires the protection of all human rights of every individual, even those we would consider evil.
We want peace.
The goal is justice, not vigilantism, not putting justice in our own hands. It must always be justice. Examples like the conviction of Croatian soldier engineer Slobodan Pravjak for war crimes in 2006 committed during the Croatia's fight for independence in the 1990s show that even victims of aggression can be held accountable. To be clear, he was convicted by the International Tribunal for Former Yugoslavia, ICTY. So it's not the ICC that convicted him, but the ICTY, which is a different court. But it's an international court. Israel should be willing to prove it is not committing war crimes in the ICC and the ICJ, and America should stay out of it. In the future, I will even make a case as to why America should become isolationist. We should stop getting involved in ourselves in other people's business. But that's a whole other conversation in the future. If America supports Israel by declaring sanctions against ICC officials, it will completely lose its moral authority. This is no exaggeration. I strongly believe this. It will completely lose its moral authority. Why should we trust America when it's speaking about human rights when they can't be trusted in ensuring the rule of law, a rule-based system? Why should we be trusted? Why should America be trusted? Why should they look at us for moral authority when we are willing to look the other way, when other countries that are our allies commit gross human rights? We already do this, but this would be openly a sign that we don't care about human rights. And if we don't care about human rights, then I fear what kind of world we're going to live in the next few years. It's a scary world, a world where human rights are no longer internationally guaranteed. The Declaration of Human Rights is completely meaningless, and each country gets to decide who gets human rights. The more power you have, the more human rights you have. The less power you have, the less human rights you have. I don't want to live in that kind of a system, and I hope you, the audience, don't either. And that's the problem with what the threats that America is making. In conclusion, the ICC has a proven record of fairness despite the little resources that they have, and should be able to handle any charges against Netanyahu and Gallant fairly. Netanyahu and Gallant are innocent until proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And America must not undermine the court. They should stay out of it. Gallant and Netanyahu can go before the court and they can prove that they're innocent. The court may end up find them not guilty. The warrants may not be issued. These are the things that we all need to understand. Let's follow the international process and avoid all political intervention in these international institutions. Let's allow them to do their job, which is to help us maintain the human rights that many people died for. I hope you all enjoy a good week, good day, good evening, good night. Thank you all for watching.